Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am Will, and I'm going to play a little game tonight. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I do want to say if you're joining now live on YouTube, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. I was not live last week, and if you listen to the audio version, there was not an audio version released because I had strep throat like a child and needed to recover from that. My voice was still weak by the time that Monday rolled around, had it over the weekend, but I was able to regain that strength, and here I am coming at you with another live. So once again, if you're watching live tonight, go ahead and give that thumbs up. It really helps. And subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. I've also got down here, if you're interested in Whiskey Weekend, it's our fantastic event that this year is going to be in Franklin, Tennessee. It's limited to 100 people. Go over to whiskeytainment.com and check that out. You can get tickets there, but also you can go back a few weeks and see my breaking news video, and you can check that out and learn a little bit more about some of the changes that have happened in the last few weeks. So I'm going to leave that up there for a little bit, but whiskeytainment.com is the place to get that. Now, if you saw the thumbnail, it was graphically representative of what's going on tonight. It was just me, and it was a beer pong table because I said it's a drinking game, but not that kind of drinking game. But our good friends, Mark and Kim Schwartz, they sent me a care package in the mail. And this is a very nicely Food Saver sealed bag. I'm a big fan of the Food Saver, so kudos on that one. But I have 4 samples listed, A, B, C, and D. And then Kim also threw in this sample that I'm going to do as the 15 of Found North Cast Strength Batch 4. So I'm going to do that as the 15. Mark and Kim are executive producers of tonight's episode, so I really appreciate them for sending this content along for me. So it's going to be a little bit of a game format. I'm going to go through the blind samples, and it's more fun than just like, what are you thinking? I have 4 envelopes that have each answer delineated by A, B, C, and D, so I can't cheat. They are sealed. I will show the viewers that these have not been tampered with in any way. Some people said last night I should do like the old psychic game, try to guess what's in it just from that. But so I have the 4 answers here, and then I also have a rubric, like a scoring rubric for myself, so that I will score it. The judges, whether or not there is any fairness or any shenanigans, can be you, the viewers. You can put it in the chat if I'm messing up. But this is special game flight for Will. Scoring proof, I get 2 points if I'm within 5 proof points. So I have to guess the proof. 1 point if I'm within 2 proof points. Okay, so I can like just roll the dice on a couple and get at least a few points. Age, 2 points within 2 years, 1 point within 4 years. And then bottle guess is another 2 points. So I have proof, age, bottle guess, and my point scoring on the side. And I have it for glass A, B, C, and D with a total possible score of 24 points. So I am going to do that. I am notoriously not great at these games. I'm not the Grease. This is not Matt Madness. So the only person I'm playing against is myself. So hopefully I can beat myself by, what should my benchmark of points be? Let's see, if there's a total 24, I probably want to B, right? Like I want to do well enough to get a better than just a passing grade. So let's see, 80% would be a B in college score levels. There's no curve here. So let's do 80%. 24 times 0.8. So I have to get 19. Actually, I have to get 20. I have to get 20 points to get over that because it's 19.2 would be 80%. So I'm going to try to get 20 points is my goal here to get a B. Now, this could quickly change, and I say I just have to get above 50%, and so then I'm going to be trying for 12. But we're going to see how this goes. Drew Bolin says I should go for 16, but we'll check it out. We'll see how it goes. I did have a palate warmer a little bit earlier, which was I do with a group of friends. We do a Advent season get together where we do a toast with each other each night, and had a blended whiskey in my lineup. So just letting you know that my palate is primed for this evening. So I left this sealed so y'all could see that I hadn't cheated, because I like to have no shenanigans going on. And once again, Kim and Mark, thank you so much for providing this content. This should be a fun game. So they're literally producing the whole show tonight. I'm just gonna be on here and look either really dumb or quite brilliant, but going to go through the samples and taste them, like I said, and then I'm going to do this on the 15, which is Found North Cask Strength Batch 4. So excited about that one. But let's get into it. So I have fresh glasses for each pour so as to not mess with the other. But I'm going to pour up. I'm going to show everyone that's watching. If you're not watching, there is a sample bottle with an A written on it. I am opening it now and pouring some. I'm just going to pour half in case I need to revisit into my glass. So Zach Jones did say, remember that time you beat Sean in Madness? That was too easy. I don't consider that a win for myself. I consider that a gimme, but who's to say? Mama Marcia says that the teacher in her says I need to go for the A, 22. I'm going to underachieve a little bit and go for the B. Unless there's like a curve, and then I only have to get like 18 to technically get an A because of grade inflation, which is a problem in this country. Ooh, okay. It smells good already. Just off the nose, though, it doesn't smell incredibly hot. So I'm not getting a ton of alcohol vapor, which is a good thing for me. But it also makes me think that I'm starting out lower proof, which would be a good place to start. Okay. Let's see. I have a pen. I'm going to write on my rubric. Proof. I'm not going to write a proof until I actually taste it. But just from the nose, I'm guessing this is sub 100, but we'll see what happens when I taste it. It smells really good, though. Tastes like it has some age on it, though. Oh, man. That's good. Really solid finish. It doesn't, I think see, because I have a range, I can score more points. I'm going to guess 95 proof. So I'm going to write 95 proof, but I may change that. But 95 is what I'm guessing. That way, if it is lower, I'm still within the 5 proof points. Now, I do need Kim. I know you're watching. Within 5 proof points, is that 5 and under? Like if it's 90 proof and I say 95, do I get the 2 points? Or is that outside of the within 5 proof points? Need that for clarity before I submit that as my final answer, because I'm trying to game it. It's gamesmanship here. Smells great, though. I really like it. Five in either direction. Okay. So if it's 90 or if it's 100, I'm covered. Okay. I don't know what it is. The age. Man, I don't know that it is 90 proof because there is a really solid finish on it. And I would think that it would kind of dissipate a little bit quicker than it is. So it could be 100. It tastes great. It tastes like it has oak. Let's see. I'm going to say it's 10 years old. And then bottle guess. I'm going to come back and I'm going to guess my bottles all at the same time. Okay. So that was A. I'm going to set my sample by it so I can remember. B. Going for B. Clean glass. And we're going to see where this goes. I'm going to rinse my mouth out with some water. All right. Ooh, okay. This is a Brown-Forman product. So there's banana on here. So under bottle guess, I'm going to go ahead and put Brown-Forman. But that's not the guess. That obviously doesn't count, but that's just for me to remember. But there's a very prominent banana cream pie, banana pudding, that kind of aroma just at first blush. Oh, man. That has got some age to it as well. Of course, Kim and Mark always pull out the heavy hitters, so I should have expected no less. But it's like, I want this to be the blind flight I always drink because this is really solid. Not a ton of difference, I feel like, in the proof on these two. Shoot, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to say 100 just to differentiate them. But I really feel like these two are flirting with the same level there. And because I had the other one, it's going to taste like, you know, that one kind of was the first punch. But I'm going back to A just to see if the proof, like how it feels compared to this one. Man, A is delicious. They're both around the same proof though. There's not a big difference. I'm gonna go with 100 for the second one. Man, it's really good. Solid. I did say 95 on the first on A. I'm gonna say 100 just to give a little bit of difference. It's a catch-all. Maybe I can pick up some points here, but yeah. Okay, age. Shoot. Okay, because it's a Brown-Forman is in my head because this I think is from the old Forester distillery. I'm gonna say it's 8 years old because I feel like they release stuff a little bit earlier at Old Forester. So these are all based on my preconceived biases that I don't know if they'll pan out. But I think, because I think it's an Old Forester, that it will end up being sub 10 years. The only thing would be, unless this was like birthday bourbon, then it's going to be older than 10 years. But I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's 8 years. So a little bit younger, but still in that same range of age. And yeah, I mean, both these are solid pours. As they say, I wouldn't kick them out of bed for eating Cheetos. Really tasty. All right, let's go to C and just see where we go from there. It's also smart when you're doing a tasting like this, when you have no concept, but you know that the people that sent it are generous, like to open things, and have really good whiskey, that you want to save a little for later just in case it's something like uber special, which it is just in general. But a little pro tip there. Don't drink the whole sample right off the bat. Don't even pour the whole thing up because then you're tempted. Oh, okay. So this one's a different direction. This is creamy. This is man, this one tastes more delicate than the other two. The first two really had a solid wood profile on the back end, on the finish. Finish lasted longer. This one, actually, the finish is a little shorter. But the nose is really good. This one's softer. Man, none of these are young. I'm searching for like a really youthful note. None of them are. Trying to anything to differentiate them from, or to spark a memory of something I've had before. But yeah, I don't know. That one is. I have to try it again. So for those of you that are just joining me, I'm doing a blind flight that our friend Mark and Kim Schwartz sent over. They sent envelopes that are 4 different envelopes. So I have to open each envelope to find out the answer. So I can't cheat. I can't look ahead. I can't open one at the same time. I could have technically done A and then revealed and seen where my points were, but I didn't. So let's see. I will continue going. And also, if you just joined, there is a rubric I'm going through. I get 2 points if I'm within 5 proof points. I get 1 point if I'm within 10 proof points. Age, 2 points within 2 years, 1 point within 4 years, and a bottle guess is 2 points, all for a possible score of 24. I'm aiming for 20. Right now, I don't think I'm on the right path, but I can do it. I can make it up in the back half. All right, so proof, let's say 105. Let's just stair step this. Let's say 105. Age, 10 years. You know, what's crazy to me is that it right off the bat, it reminded me of like a Russell's Reserve on the nose. Yeah, but it doesn't have the oomph that like a Russell's Reserve single barrel would throw my way, right? I just don't know. You know what this could be? No. See, then I also start, this is a game I get in my own head as I try to think, what is something that Kim would send? And I'm this like psychological expert that I can really figure out where I could pinpoint their taste. And I know that Kim and Mark love Four Roses. So I'm thinking to myself, could it be Four Roses? Could this be Four Roses Small Batch Select? That's an elegant pour. I love that whiskey. I don't think it is, but my head is convincing me that that's where something like this is. That'd be around 104 proof. So that would actually be a bullseye on the proof. 10 years. I know it's not that old. So, but it's also not age stated. And context clues, all 4 of these are going to need to be age stated for me to get points, right? Like that's kind of inherent in the game that I have to be able to score it. So I don't think it's that, but I would like for it to be, because then I'd get 2 points for the bottle guess. All right, we're moving on to sample D. And Kim did ask in the chat, she said it would be great to know your ranking or at least favorite before you find out what they are. 100% I'll do that. I'll rank them. But I will say that None of these are bad. These are all very good whiskeys. These are all ones that would be um, smiled upon if someone shared them with you at your house. Like if you went over and were a guest and someone shared this with you, they're all very tasty. I would not be upset with any of these being offered. Oh, hello. This knows right off the bat. Oh, and I'll do a buy bar pass for Mama Marsha on all of them, but I think they probably are all are buy. This one has the most unique nose out of all of them by far. Now I moved on to D. What is this? This has a very familiar nose. Like I said, I'm very bad at this. I'm not. That's why I don't progress far in Matt Madness. I can tell you I like whiskey. I can tell you the ones I like. I can tell you why I like it. But the delicate art of nailing what I'm drinking blind, not that great at. But it's fun. It is a fun thing to do, and I should do it more often because practice makes perfect and all that. This one has the best nose. Oh, man, this is a nose I'm trying to pinpoint because this one has familiarity to it. This one is old. That one is old. That's 15 plus years. That is really that one has a lot of oak on it. Not over oaked by any means. Oh man. None of these are super high proof. Or they are so well matured because they have good age on them that none of them with a high proof are aggressive. They're all very approachable whiskeys. One fantastic flight. All right, I'm going to say 15 years on the Glass D. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, I'm just getting that cherry and oak. Right. Cherry and oak. Really, really good. 105 proof. Oh, geez, it could be under 100, honestly. It's so approachable. I'm trying to think. I mean, shoot. I'm doing 98 proof. I'm dropping it under 100. I don't think it's over 100 proof. It's really, really approachable. It'd be very, very surprising if that were. I don't know why I put 105. I mean, that is really delicious. All right. Kim is saying that it's too restrictive on age. So I can change it from within 2 and 4 years. So 2 points gives me a 2 to 4 years, and then 1 point if it's within 8 years. Is that what you're saying? be okay with that. I'm going to go back through and make my bottle guesses. But this isn't locked in, but right now I think my favorites are, I think it goes. Goodness, like this. Oh, man. Okay. This is the way you do it when you are. I've compared everything to A. So now I'm going to reverse engineer this, and I'm going to go DCBA as my I'm going to go DCBA as my lineup now. Okay. Goodness, like I'm telling you, this is. I mean, like if I'm going to guess on this one, I don't think it is because a lot of times it's a little bit oakier than this and drier. But I'm going to say Elijah Craig 18. So, because I'm going for points, I'm not guessing this is an 18-year-old bourbon. I'm guessing this is Elijah Craig 18, but I'm guessing it's 15 years old, and I'm guessing it's 98 proof. So, that's what I'm doing. That's my order, right? There's a lot of oak there. It tastes really good, though. It's not over oak by any means. And I don't think the proof is that high. So that's why I'm going 98. Okay. So with C, put a little bit more in here. Still reserving some for future endeavors. Oh, man. So this has leather, vanilla. I also think that Kim is telling me that I'm way under guessing on my age, which is hilarious. Bottle guess. I'm saying 105 proof, 10 years old. I think I'm going to guess a Russell's Reserve. So I think that is, I'm guessing Russell's Reserve. This is the one that I was like, it could be that Four Roses Small Batch Select. So Russell's Reserve obviously would be 110 proof. It could be a little bit younger than 10 years. It could be 10 years. But I'm going with a Russell Reserve, like a store pick, single barrel store pick. So I'm going to put SB. And that's where I'm going with that. But I honestly don't think it's 110 proof. If it is, I'll be surprised. So, Jason Newman with the super chat. Great show tonight. Kim is an awesome person. So I'm sure the samples are straight hitters. Zero chance these aren't like mind-blowing whiskeys. So it is also going to be very humorous for me to know how badly I did with how good the whiskey is. Like, it's going to be embarrassing for me to say, oh, I said that was a Russell's Reserve store pick. So I'm saying Russell's Reserve single barrel, 10 years old, 105 proof. That's my guess. Bottle guess is 2 points, but I'm giving myself 1 point for the right distillery. So I'm amending the rules because I'm trying to get to 20 and I know I'm way far off. If I get a passing grade, like not failing out of the course, then I'm fine with this. All right. So, glass B, I'm going to go back to. Definitely still get that banana note. It's tasty. You know what I think this is? Context clues. We talked about that King's Ranch. The King's Ranch Old Forester release. It's Texas only. They're from Texas. I know that she has a bottle. It has Old Forester to it, but it's not really like an Old Forester I've had before. I don't know the proof on it, so I'm sticking with my 100 proof. I think it may be sub 100. It may be 100. 8 years old. Don't know if there's an age statement on it or not, but I'm going to guess it's the Old Forester King Ranch. So that's just based off context clues with conversations I've had with them. I know they're in Texas. I know it exists. I know they have a bottle. That's my guess on that. It's if that is what it is, it's really good, and everyone should make a journey to Texas to get that. If not, whatever it ends up being, you should also probably get it because it's really good. Oh man, see now that the glass has had time to kind of appreciate the whiskey that's in it. This one is really good. It's going to be embarrassing, but it's softer. There's not a lot of spice on it. I'm going to guess this is Weller 12. So that'd be a 90 proof, 12-year-old bourbon. I guess 95 proof, 10 years old. Weller 12 is my guess on that. It's hard to rank these. Really hard to rank these because they are very good and there's a lot of difference. The most similar, I'd say, are A and C. A and C have the most similarities to me. B is clearly Brown-Forman of some nature, unless it's a curveball and it's some sort of Barton, because sometimes I get that note on Barton. But I would bet money right now, maybe not well, but I would bet money that that's a Brown-Forman, probably from Old Forester. And B, C and A have a lot of similarities to me. And then D is just the age is there. All of these have age on them, though. Unless I'm completely wrong. And she's like, no, they're all very young whiskey. We did not spring for the good stuff for a little game on the internet. Okay, so I'm going to rank them before I start revealing and scoring myself. The okay, first I'm going to tell you what you should drink these for. D's a special occasion. You want to introduce someone to an ultra premium, ultra aged whiskey. B is fun, super fun, but if that banana aroma turns you off, you may not like it. I do like it. A and C. A, to coin a phrase that my friend, the T's, Troy, said, you take a whiff of A and it smells like you're going to get a little drunk just because it smells so good and you're going to keep drinking it. So that one's on you. And C just has the like really solid characteristics of a bourbon. Like it's like the bourbon archetype that that you're looking for. It's really good. It tastes delicious, and it's what you'd be looking for. It's not going to steer you wrong, but it has a lot of those traditional vanilla, leather, tobacco, caramel, oak. So just the standard tasting profile, but really good. Not just like, oh, this is run of the mill. Like it is just it's a master class in the flavor profile of a solid bourbon. So, all right. So I'm going to rank them. And here's the problem. I need to rank I think I'm trying to decide, like, because the final one, sorry, my hat is a little askew for those of you watching, and I'm trying to fix it, but it's like reversed. So then I'm looking. There we go. That works. D to me is an experience. It's rich. It's delicious, but it's not necessarily something I'm going to reach for every time. So I think if I'm going to rank them, I think C may be my favorite because it's probably the one I would drink the most. D is a very close second because it is very typical of a oaky bourbon, and not typical in a run of the mill way, but like it is the type. It is what you would want to experience from a really oaky bourbon. So C edges it out just a little bit from me wanting to drink it more. D is right there with it just because the flavor is so solid. A and B are, this is tough. I think B is, I think it goes C, D, A, B is how I'm going to rank them. C, D, A, B. C, because I would reach for it the most. D, because I feel like it is special. And so I wouldn't drink it as much, but I really like it and would want to show it off. A, because I said it's very similar to C, so it gets that notch, it gets that little bit of a leg up on B. B is really, really good, but as far as a general public, I could see the faint banana aroma as something that could turn off some consumers. So whenever I'm ranking for myself, I'm also ranking for all of you. But I'm just going to say C, D, A, B, final answer. My first one, as I go to score now, I'm opening envelope A. It has not been opened yet. You can see it's sealed. And I'm going to tear it across the top. Oh, no. I was trying to be cool. I literally just blew that out of my hand across the room. All right, sorry, I'll be right back. Got it. All right, so I said 95 proof, 10 years old, and I guessed Weller 12. Let's score myself now. Okay. I get 1 point for proof. So what this is Wild Turkey Decades, and there's an image of it as well. So this was a Masters Keep series. The very first Masters Keep was the 17-year cast strength, which was like an 80 proofer. And so this one is Wild Turkey Decades, and it has 10-year-old whiskey and 20-year-old whiskey in it. So as far as age statement goes, though, I think I get 2 points. And I'll tell you why. So proof, it is 104 proof. So I'm within 10 points. So I get 10 proof points. So I get 1 point because I said 95. It is 104. That does not drink like 104 proof whiskey. It is, but that's what was so confusing because it had such a really good finish that I'm like, it doesn't taste that low of proof, but it did have it had zero burn, zero ethanol in the nose. And that's where that mature 20-year-old whiskey really knocked down the alcohol vapor in that. So that is remarkable. This is the first time I've had the Decades. I believe this may have been the second or third Masters Keep release. This is a vintage bottle at this point. This is probably 4 or 5 years old. 10 to 20 years. So I guessed 10 years old because it is a blend. And by law, the youngest whiskey is the age of the whiskey. So I guessed it's 10 years old. I get the full 2 points because if it has 20-year-old whiskey, if it had 50-year-old whiskey, but it has a drop of 10-year-old whiskey in it, it is by law 10-year-old whiskey. So I get the full 10 points. I get the full 2 points for the 10-year guess, although I did neglect the 20-year-old whiskey in it as well. Weller 12, I get 0 points for guessing Weller 12. But I'm not even going to say that was a solid guess. It was Wild Turkey, High Rye Mash Bill, older whiskey, and I said 90 proof wheated whiskey from Buffalo Trace. So unfortunately, 0 points on there. I'm sitting at 3 points. I have quite a bit of ways to go to get to my B. So I'm already starting to look at that passing grade of getting 50%, which would be 12 points. Okay. B, I guessed 100 proof 8-year-old Brown-Forman. So this is telling me that my 100 proof guess may be decent, but We'll see. All right. Okay. So I'm within 10 proof points. I missed this is Calumet 16-year, 106 proof. Okay. So 100 proof is within 10 proof points because it is 6. It's just outside of me getting 2 points for it. So 1 point there. 8 years old is exactly half of the age statement. But within the revised rules, I do get a single point for being within 8 years. So that is 1 point. And you know how I lingered out there? It could be Barton. Pretty sure the Calumet whiskey does come from the Barton Distillery, which I do get banana notes on often. But I was adamant there is no way it is from the Barton Distillery. I was wrong. Calumet 16. So once again, 0 points for the bottle guess. And not even close on the distillery where I was going to give myself 1 point. So right now, halfway through, I have a solid 5 points. I needed to get to 20. I could get 12 more points in the next 2 rounds and still only be at 17. So I failed you all. It's a very fun game, but I am not an overachiever in class. Going with Glass C. 105 proof. It's probably 25 years old and 120 proof based off my guesses. I said 105 proof, 10 years old, Russell's Reserve single barrel. But hey, I could be onto something because it could be the Russell's 13, something like that. Because I said there were similar, that drank the most similar were A and C. And so if it were Russell's Reserve 13 year, that would tell me that it was similar to the Wild Turkey, those at the beginning. Let's see what happens. This is Knob Creek 18 year. This is 18-year-old bourbon. So I get 1 point for being within 8 years because I said it was a 10-year-old bourbon. And 105 proof. This is 100 proof. So being within, I get 2 points for being within 2 proof points. So I'm up to 3. And 0 points once again for the bottle guess. This one is really good, by the way. I could drink that 1,000 times and never say that's Knob Creek. The nuttiness is not really there. I get cherry and I get oak. I'm definitely buy on Knob Creek 1800 proof. It's expensive, but that is a hitter, y'all. That is. And I said this was my favorite. I said C was my favorite of the lot. So I said C, D, A, B. And oddly, I'm happy with where I'm landing on that. All right, so final glass. I have currently 3, 5, 8. 8 points. I need 4 points to pass. I said it is 98 proof. That's going to be wrong. I said it was 15 years. I may get within the 4 years if I'm very lucky. And I said it was Elijah Craig 18. There is a chance, this is an outside chance, that I could get to a passing grade of 12 points. I need the proof and the age to come through for me. Oh my gosh. Slow clap for Kim. I got to partake in her, and actually, here's what I need to do. I have in front of me a special glass that she sent along with this. This is her. Kim just celebrated her 50th birthday on November 18th of this year. And she sent a rocks glass that was given as a party favor. Now, I'll tell you how far off I was with my guests here in a moment. But the remainder of D, I will not save. I'm pouring it in. I'm having it here live for all of you. I'm going to get every drop out of this. And I'll say a little toast to Kim in a moment. But it's on the glass. It says, it's not about the whiskey. It's about the family and friends you share it with. Kim's 50th birthday, November 18th, 2022. So this bottle, she actually mentioned it on a call-in show a couple weeks ago, the Thanksgiving show. And so this is Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve 23-year-old. It is 23 years old. It is 95.6 proof. And so I'm going to score myself real quick. So 98. So that's within 5 points. So I get the full 2. 15 years is within 8 points. So I get the 1. And I don't get it. So I failed. I failed miserably, but I'm the winner here tonight. So I got 3, 5. I got 11 points. So I got below 50%. But I'm the winner because I've had 4 fantastic whiskeys. I had Wild Turkey Master's Keep Decades. I had Calumet 16. I had Knob Creek 18-year-old. And I am now drinking Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve 23-year-old. That I believe it's her brother or brother-in-law, she can correct me, came to her birthday party and gifted her this for her 50th birthday party. And of course, she opened it and shared it at the birthday. And now, I said she was generous. I said that she was sending hitters because I know how they are. And she is. So this is the last bit of my sample. And it was her brother-in-law. She did correct me. So I thank you very much for this flight, this blind tasting. Every single one of these was delicious. Like I said, if you go over to someone's house and this is what they pour you for a flight, you are giving them a masterclass in hospitality and in whiskey. But this is really special. So it is only appropriate that I finish the rest of this sample out of this glass. And really for everyone, this is what it's all about, right? This is about sharing good whiskey, helping out a friend, me, in this time where I'm doing different kind of live shows than we're used to, different kind of podcasts than we're used to. But this is the embodiment of hospitality, and that's what Mark and Kim are. They are fantastic people. Every time I have spent time with them, I have come out of that experience a better person because they are friends, they are hospitable, and they get what this is about. And that's why it says it on the glass. It's not about the whiskey. It's about the family and friends you share it with. And while you're not here in person, you're here with me watching live, and all of you, which I consider you my friends in this journey. I just want to say cheers to Mark and Kim, and especially happy birthday to Kim, and Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone learns a lesson from this, and that is to share your whiskey with friends. Use it to spark joy in their lives in a time when they least expect it. And me sitting here doing a blind game with the silliest thumbnail of a beer pong table and me and saying a drinking game, never would have expected to be finishing this game as a failure on paper, but rich with friends and good whiskey. So cheers to Mark and Kim, and thank you for saying this. And I'm going to savor this last half ounce of this out of this rocks glass because it's the appropriate vessel to drink it. So thank you so much. All right. I am going to do a 15 because I said I would. And this is, I'm going to actually save the last quarter ounce of this glass after my 15 pour. But as I go to that, if you want to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/thepodcast and support us directly. There's a really cool level. It's my favorite. It's the town hall level. It is where you get to hang out with me and Grease on Zoom calls. I've gotten to know Mark and Kim infinitely better through things like town hall and virtual barn night. And that is one of the best ways to get to know us and get to hang out and actually foster relationships. If this is your kind of group, if this is your kind of club, patreon.com/thepodcast, join that town hall level. Any level of Patreon gets the after party though, which is a lot of fun. It's where I just hang out and do some stuff. And then when Grease is back, he'll be on it as well, which look forward to that in the new year. We'll announce exactly the return of Grease and we'll do something fun when he comes back on. If you want to come hang out with people like Mark and Kim and our entire audience and group of friends, consider Whiskey Weekend. It's whiskeytainment.com. I'm going to go ahead and put the banner up at the bottom because it's Grease and I are real bad about liking puns and mashups of words. The podcast is one of them. It's podcast, but cask like a barrel of whiskey. If you didn't know where that came from, but Whiskeytainment is how we describe what we do. It's not whiskey academia. It's a Whiskeytainment. It's whiskey entertainment. It's having a good time. It's sharing good whiskey with good friends at times when you need it the most, when you need friends the most, when you need people in your life like that. So that's why we call it Whiskeytainment. That whiskeytainment.com is where you learn about coming to Whiskey Weekend. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be March 9th through 12th here in Franklin, Tennessee. It's limited to 100 people, and we're about 2/3 sold out. A little bit over that probably. So if you're interested in it, if you want to surprise your significant other with a, hey, you're coming with me to a cool whiskey trip for your Christmas present, now's the time to do it. Go to whiskeytainment.com and look it up. Limited to 100 people, experiences you won't be able to get anywhere else. I can guarantee you that. You're really going to like it. People like Todd, who just commented, is a regular, and he's salt of the earth and one of the best people that we know. He'll be there. Mark and Kim will be there. And so many other people that really mean the world to us and that we want you to meet and hang out with and just have a make memories with in a way you would never expect it. So check it out. That's the best sales pitch I have. Go to whiskeytainment.com and, or just send me a message on Instagram or email me, will@thepodcast.com. If you have more questions, I'll be happy to answer it. I'm not a great salesman, but I can tell you why it's special. So if you're interested in that, reach out. I'll tell you why you should be there. And if it's not for you, someone else will be there. So check it out. Whiskeytainment.com. And also we do have a barrel club, which is really cool. It's with our friends Bob and James from BS and Bourbon. And it's a fun way to get exclusive barrel picks in another angle of the community, oakandthieves.com. And we've got some new announcements coming up about that in the new year as well. So check that out, oakandthieves.com. Now, I'm going to get into this sample. All right, so I just rinsed out my glass. And I'm going to... This is Found North Cask Strength Batch 4, 124.8 proof. And it is a blend of Canadian whiskey that is 80% corn, 19% rye, and 1% malted barley. And the lovely couple known as the Schwartzes, Mark and Kim, were on a town hall, actually. And they were on their way up to Kim's birthday. and they were in a hotel room, and they joined Town Hall, and we had a blast hanging out. And they were drinking this bottle, and she sent me a sample because I was curious about it. So once again, the production continues for this episode. I don't know a ton about this brand, and I'd actually never heard of it. The label was super. So it comes in kind of that like cognac looking bottle, that wine bottle, and I believe this is a roughly $100 SRP. Let's see. Val North Batch 4, based off valnorthwhiskey.com. Batch 4 was SRP, of $145. So it's a premium whiskey and Canadian high corn. So I'm expecting some sweetness on this. Not a ton of rye, but I mean, 19%. It'll have a little bit of spicy. Not a ton of barley, actually. That's just enough, I feel like, to get that fermentation going. I mean, this smells really good. It's very, very sweet. And I really like that. It does say it's 18-year-old cask strength whiskey. Based off this website, it says it was built around a 21-year corn component with lovely caramel, high viscous, naturally sweet 25-year corn component aged in Hungarian oak that was dripping in molasses. We balanced the viscosity with spice and fruit from a combination of two different style ryes, both aged for 18 years. So it's a base year of 18 from those rye components, but the corn whiskey is even older. So very sweet, no youth at all, no graininess. And I said that the proof is 124.8. I love that I'm following up all of these that are all sub 110 in my flight earlier with something a little bit higher proof. So I didn't dilute the flavor and aroma that's coming. Kim said they source single grain whiskeys from Canada, then blend it. So pure single grain whiskeys blended is different than a mash bill percent. So that is interesting. So it is that 1% malted barley is a single malt that goes in there. The ryes are single grain whiskeys. So I assume there's some, either a yeast starter or some of that rye is malted, but it is a single grain rye. And then the corn whiskey is so it is 80% single grain corn whiskey. That is a fascinating differentiation. It's not just this is the grain bills of the various whiskeys, and then we blended them with different age statements. This is a true blend of single grain whiskey. So it's a blended single grain whiskey. That's very interesting and very unique. This isn't the very atypical of whiskeys, right? Of even a blend. So Andrew West, who is Canadian, so he is an authority on this, says they use enzymes in Canada. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be malted to be able to get that fermentation going. And a lot of people don't realize, and maybe they do, maybe I'm just speaking for people, is that you don't, the malted barley in bourbon is there to help kickstart the fermentation. The malting process creates that. The 100% rye doesn't have to be malted rye. It just needs the enzymes added and introduced to be able to kickstart fermentation. So very sweet. I can definitely get the age, but it's not like a overbearing oak aroma or tannicness on the nose. But let's see how it tastes. That's very good. That is robust. Wow. 124.8 proof. I've been drinking all sub 110 not burning at all, but a full flavor. Very, very flavor rich, syrupy. It's very sweet. Those the single grain corn whiskeys really shine in the fact that they have so much age on them. They've taken on so much caramel from the barrel. That is a very unique, fantastic whiskey. $140. I'm buy on that. 2,700 bottles were in the batch. 18 to 25-year-old whiskeys, 124 proof, non-chill filter, no additives, no color added. You have to watch for that in Canada. They can be a real stinker when it comes to adding stuff. But I will tell you, man, that's a remarkable pour. It's a buy for me. I would seek out a bottle of this. It's very sweet. Has some brown sugar to it, almost like a aged rum, but without the funkiness. You still get that kind of bourbon vibe to it because it has so much corn in it. If you like some of those higher proof, I prefer this over it, honestly. But if you like some of those higher proof light whiskeys that have been around, higher aged light whiskeys, this is that, but on steroids. This is much better. So I would say look for this. This is something different. It's something not a lot of people have. Thank you, Kim and Mark, for sending it. But that's a buy for me. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, folks. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Like I said, looking forward to Greaves being back probably in the new year. We're going to discuss some things when he's going to be joining me back. But also, next week, I'm doing a live premiere. I won't be live, but I'll be in the chat. But I was able to film a really fun episode with my buddy Joe B. If you've watched Barn Night, listened for a long time and heard Barn Night, there's an episode Joe B. has really been wanting to do for like 3 years. He has a collection of whiskeys that are called the Cats and Dogs of Heaven Hill. We explain what it is, but a lot of these were labels. Heaven Hill, especially with these, they were exports to Japan. There wasn't like a marketing budget behind them. They were labels like Yellow Rose of Texas, Old Huckleberry, Anderson Club, I believe is what one of them is called. And they are a lot of times have aged stock in them. So some of them are 15 years, some are 10 years, some are 8 years, but they are all pre-Fire Heaven Hill. And he's been wanting to do this Cats and Dogs series. That was a industry term for whiskey that had no marketing budget, but the salesman still had to sell. So Cats and Dogs episode is going to be what I air next Monday. We recorded it here. He came over, he brought the whiskey. It was fun. I did a 2-camera shoot as best I could because I am not the cinematographer like Grease is, but I think it turned out okay, and we had a lot of fun, and it's going to be worth your time. I'm going to do something special for that episode. If you are a podcast listener, I am going to release the audio first. I'm going to release that Monday morning, so you'll get that first, and then I'll do it as a premiere, so it'll like pop up, and it'll be like live, and there's a live chat. We did that for the Barn Night episode. That's going to run next Monday. So look forward to that. And then the following week is Christmas week. So that'll be special. That'll be super fun. Actually, I think the 26th is the following Monday. So I'll probably be live then. But check it out next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think everyone will enjoy that. And it's whiskey you've probably not seen or heard of. And they're vintage. They're dusty. They're different. So check that out next week right here on our YouTube channel. If you're new, like and subscribe. We appreciate it. And I've told you all the ways to get in touch with us. Go to patreon.com/thepodcast to support us. Go to oakandthieves.com if you want to join our barrel club. And if you want to go to Whiskey Weekend, go to whiskeytainment.com. gmail.com. That's going to do it for this week on the podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Kim and Mark for sending the samples and setting this up for me. And I've got this last little bit that I'm going to enjoy of this Pappy 23 as I say this. We don't know Jack, but we'll drink it.